You think you can play with me? Ryan growled, his fists clenched so tight his knuckles cracked. You think your quiet game is going to work here at Washington High? I slowly raised my head, meeting his gaze. Something in my eyes must have shifted, because the crowd around us went silent, holding their breath. I wasn't scared, not even close. I'm not playing, Ryan, I said, my voice calmer than I expected. I was just hoping you wouldn't make me show who I really am. And who are you? He mocked, oblivious to the fact that in 5 minutes he'd be on the ground, and the whole school would be buzzing about it. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me take you back to how it all began. It started on a foggy Monday morning at Washington High School in Springfield, Illinois. I was 16, the new girl walking through those heavy front doors, trying to blend in. My family had just moved from Chicago after my mom landed a job at a local hospital. This was my 4th move in 3 years. So I knew the drill. Keep my head down, don't stand out. I was average height, slim, with my brown hair tied back in a simple ponytail, wearing plain jeans and a sweatshirt. I spoke softly when teachers called on me, hoping to avoid attention. But there was something about me no one at Washington High knew, something that would soon turn this school upside down. I was the reigning Illinois Junior MMA champion. 4 years of grueling training at one of Chicago's top gyms had made me a force to be reckoned with, even against adult fighters. My left punch could break a rib, and my ground fighting skills left my coaches in awe. But my mum, Dr. Laura Carter, begged me to keep it a secret in Springfield. Let's start fresh. Honey, she'd pleaded. You know how people react when they find out what you can do. Let's just be a normal family. I agreed, though a part of me resisted. In Chicago, I'd earned respect because I never let anyone walk over me. Here, I was just another new kid. Trouble found me on the first day. I was eating lunch alone in the cafeteria, tucked into a corner, when a tall, broad-shouldered guy with a cocky smirk sauntered over. 2 friends trailed him, one short and wiry with squinting eyes, the other taller with a sly grin. Hey, new girl, the leader said, plopping into the chair across from me. I'm Ryan Mitchell. This is my school, my rules. These are my friends, Ethan and Noah. Nice to meet you. I'm Sophie, I said, keeping my tone neutral. Sophie, Ryan drawled, like he was tasting my name. Where you from? Chicago, I replied. Chicago? Ethan snorted. Big city girl thinks she's better than us? I don't think that, I said quietly, focusing on my sandwich. But I think you do. Ryan leaned closer. We've got a system here. Newbies show respect, especially city girls who think they're cooler than everyone else. That tone, that arrogance, it hit me like a punch I couldn't return. Not yet. I'd promised Mom. I don't want trouble, I said, standing to leave. Where you going? Noah grabbed my shoulder, pinning me down. We're not done. What do you want? My voice sharpened, but they didn't notice. Just respect. Ryan smirked. $5 a day for protection. Lonely girls can get into trouble at a new school. I studied their faces. Ryan's eyes gleamed with predator-like confidence. Ethan smirked, ready for a show. Noah was waiting for me to crack. I'll think about it, I said, buying time. You've got until tomorrow, Ryan said, leaning so close I felt his breath. And don't snitch. The teachers love us. My dad funds the football team. After they left, I sat there, fists clenched under the table. One hit, and Ryan would have been in the infirmary. But Mom's voice echoed in my head. I walked home that afternoon, my mind racing. $5 a day was $150 a month, over $1,000 by the end of the year. And that was just the start. I knew guys like Ryan. If I gave in, it'd only get worse. At home, Mom was cooking dinner, looking exhausted but smiling. "How was school, honey?" "Fine." I lied. Typical first day. "Made any friends?" "Too early to tell." She gave me that look. She always knew when something was off. "If there's a problem, it's okay." Mom. That night, I couldn't sleep. Ryan's smug face, his cocky tone, kept replaying in my head. In Chicago, this would have been over already. Everyone knew not to mess with Sophie Carter. But here, I was the quiet girl who didn't want trouble. Tuesday morning, things escalated. Ryan and his crew cornered me at the stairs as I entered school. "Thought about it?" he asked. No preamble. "I'm not paying," I said firmly. His smile vanished. "What did you say?" I said no. We locked eyes for a moment. Then he laughed, cold and sharp. "I was hoping you'd be smart, babe. But if you want to play heroin, let's play." From then on, it was war. They made my life hell at every break. In chemistry, Ethan accidentally knocked my notes to the floor, then stepped on them with his dirty shoe. "Oops." He grinned. "Sorry." At recess, Noah shoved me into a wall, hard enough to bruise my shoulder. "Watch where you're going," he sneered. I gritted my teeth, swallowing my anger. It all came to a head at lunch. I was at my usual table when Ryan showed up, this time with half the football team. "Hear that?" he announced loudly. "New girl doesn't follow traditions, thinks she's above our rules." The cafeteria went quiet, all eyes on us. "Ryan, please," I said softly. "I just want you to know your place," he said, leaning in. "Ignoring me makes me look bad." Then he grabbed my plate and dumped it in my lap. Hot soup, vegetables, the works. "Oops," he mocked. "Clumsy me." Laughter erupted. Someone pulled out a phone to record. The soup burned through my jeans, but I didn't move. Rage built inside me, cold and controlled. 4 years of training screamed to be unleashed. But I held back. "Why you just sitting there?" Ryan taunted. "Clean it up." I stood slowly, soup dripping onto the floor. Everyone was laughing, but I only saw Ryan. "You made a big mistake," I said, my voice slicing through the noise. "What are you going to do?" He laughed. "Tell the principal? Call Mommy?" I didn't answer. I grabbed my backpack and walked out, leaving the laughter and soup puddles behind. In the bathroom, I tried to scrub the stains, but my hands shook, not from fear, but from fury. I was trained to channel this, but it was hard. I called my old coach in Chicago, Master Williams. "Sophie, how's the new school?" he asked. "Not great. I've got a bully problem." I laid it out for him. When I finished, he sighed. "Your mom's right to want a fresh start, but secrets can be dangerous. If you let them walk over you, they'll get worse. Force stops guys like this, but be smart. No witnesses, no serious harm. I remember your lessons," I said. "Good. And Sophie, protect yourself. It's your right." I spent the day thinking. By the last bell, I'd decided I couldn't take it anymore. After school, I lingered in the library, pretending to study, waiting for the halls to clear. I needed Ryan alone. Around 4 p.m., I headed to the parking lot. It was nearly empty, just a few teachers' cars. Ryan always stayed late for soccer practice. I walked to the gym, peering through the window. Practice was over. Players heading to the lockers. I waited another half hour until Ryan emerged. Alone. "Ryan," I called. He turned, grinning. "Well, look who's back. Soup girl wants more?" "I need to talk." "About what?" He crossed his arms, confident as ever. "About the cafeteria?" "What? You didn't think it was funny?" "Maybe for you, not for me." He stepped closer, towering over me, at 6 feet. He was nearly a head taller. "Listen, kiddo. I tried to be nice. Pay up. Live your life. But you chose the hard way." "The hard way?" I asked. "Tomorrow, everyone's going to know the Chicago girl's a loser. I'll post that soup video. Social media's going to love it." Something shifted in me. "You know, Ryan, I've got a proposition." He scoffed. "You're in no position to propose anything. One-on-one, right here, right now. You win. I'll pay $10 a day, do whatever you say. I win. You leave me alone and apologize to the whole school." He burst out laughing. "You want to fight me? I've been playing football since I was 10, coached by an NFL guy. I bench 300 pounds. And you look like a breeze could knock you over. Then you've got nothing to worry about." Something in my voice made him pause. I stood still, arms loose. But there was a confidence in my stance he hadn't seen before. "Fine," he said. "No holds barred. Anything goes. Deal." We moved to the center of the parking lot. The asphalt clear. No cars around. A perfect spot. Ryan peeled off his hoodie, flexing his muscular frame. He looked intimidating, and he knew it. I slipped off my jacket, standing in a plain t-shirt, looking fragile next to him. Last chance to back out. He grinned. "Thanks. But no. Your funeral?" He didn't hesitate. He charged, his fist aiming for my face with enough force to break my nose. But I was ready. I stepped left, letting his punch sail past, and blocked with my forearm. The move was lightning fast, precise. Before he could react, I struck. My left fist drove into his solar plexus, 4 years of training behind it. The blow was short, brutal. Ryan doubled over, gasping, his lungs refusing to work. He dropped to his knees, choking out. "What? How?" I stood over him, calm, not even winded. "First rule of fighting, never underestimate your opponent." He tried to stand, but his legs wobbled. That punch was surgical, enough to stop him, not to destroy him. "You box," he wheezed. "Not boxing." I crouched, so we were eye level. "Mixed martial arts, 4 years, Illinois junior champion, 23 fights, 21 wins." His eyes widened, fear creeping in. "But here's the thing," I continued. "That was maybe 1/10 of what I can do. At full power, that punch would have gone through your ribs to your spine." I stepped back. I came here for a normal life. I was tired of people fearing me. Mum wanted me to hide my skills, and I tried. But you didn't give me a chance. You thought I was easy prey. You were wrong. "Listen, I didn't know," he started. "Of course you didn't. Now you've got a choice. Keep our deal, leave me alone, apologize to the school, or tomorrow. I show everyone what I can really do, with witnesses and cameras. What'll your football buddies say when they hear their captain got dropped in 30 seconds by a girl half his size?" He knew he was cornered. "Okay," he rasped. I'll do it. Smart. I grabbed my jacket. Oh, and Ryan, if you or your friends mess with me or anyone else, I'll know. And next time, we won't just talk. I left him there, clutching his stomach in the empty lot. The next morning, the school was in shock. Ryan Mitchell, the untouchable bully, walked up to me in the hallway, in front of everyone, and apologized. I'm sorry, Sophie, he said, no trace of sarcasm. What I did was wrong. I was an idiot. Jaws dropped. Ryan Mitchell apologizing to the new girl. Thanks, Ryan, I said calmly. From that day, everything changed. Ryan and his crew didn't just leave me alone. They became my silent protectors. If someone tried to pick on a younger kid, one glare from Ryan stopped it. But the real surprise came a week later. A group of girls, led by Ava Thompson, one of the school's popular kids, approached me. Sophie, Ava said nervously. We heard you can really fight. Why do you ask? We've got a problem. Guys from Jefferson High keep harassing us after school. Teachers can't help. It's off school grounds, and we can't tell our parents. They'll ground us. Their eyes held fear and desperation. Tell me more, I said. They explained how a group of Jefferson High seniors stalked them near the bus stop, getting bolder each time. The day before, one tried to grab Ava's hand, threatening her when she pulled away. How many? I asked. 5. All big. 17 or 18. And you? 4. We stick together. 5 to 1 wasn't ideal, even for me. But they needed help, and no one else could step in. Okay, I said. Go as usual after school. I'll be there. What are you going to do? We'll see. At 3:45, I posted up at the bus stop, pretending to read, but watching everything. Ava and her friends arrived, glancing at me nervously. Right on cue. The Jefferson High boys showed up. 5 cocky teens in athletic gear. Their leader, a tall blonde with a neck tattoo, zeroed in on the girls. Look who's here, he said loudly. Our favorite Washington High princesses. Leave us alone, Lucas, Ava said, trying to sound brave. Just talking. Lucas smirked, reaching for her face. She flinched, but one of his friends blocked her escape. Don't be scared. Beautiful. I don't bite. I stepped in. Excuse me, I said, walking up. Can you step aside? The bus is coming, and you're in the way. Lucas turned, sizing me up. Who are you? I go to Washington High. These girls are my friends. Get lost while I talk to my friends, he sneered. They don't want to talk to you. He stepped closer, towering over me. Mind your business, brat, or you'll regret it. What'll I regret? I asked, unfazed. His friends laughed, thinking it was hilarious that I wasn't scared. I like her, Lucas said to his crew. She's got guts. Maybe we take her with us. A stocky guy with gold teeth moved behind me. Good idea. Luke. He reached for my shoulders. Big mistake. I didn't turn. My left elbow snapped back, hitting his solar plexus. He crumpled, gasping, dropping to his knees. What the? Lucas started, but I faced him, and something in my eyes shut him up. Cold, focused, fearless. You've got 2 minutes to leave, I said. No more warnings. You crazy, he barked. I could take you with one hand. He didn't get to finish. I moved faster than he could track. 1 second. I was 2 meters away. The next, my fist slammed into his liver. He doubled over, and my knee met his nose. I heard the crunch of cartilage as blood poured out. He hit the pavement, barely conscious. It took 3 seconds. His friends froze, their invincible leader bleeding on the ground. "Who's next?" I asked. No one moved. They knew I wasn't bluffing. "Smart," I said. "Take your buddy and go. If I see you near our girls again, we'll have a different talk." They dragged Lucas away, the guy I'd elbowed still clutching his stomach. "You too?" I told him. Scram, when they were gone. Ava and her friends ran over, eyes wide with awe. "That was incredible," Ava said. "How do you do that?" "Long story." I shrugged. "Point is, they won't bother you now." "What if they come back?" "They won't. Guys like Lucas only respect strength. He learned his lesson." The bus came, and the girls boarded, still buzzing. I waited for the next one. At home, Mum was cooking. "How's school?" she asked. "Better?" I said. "Much better." She studied me. She could tell something had changed. I was calmer, more confident. The tension I'd carried since moving was gone. "Made friends?" "Yeah, there are some cool kids here." I went to my room, opened a textbook, but my mind was elsewhere. That day changed everything. I didn't have to hide anymore. I could be me. The next day, the bus stop story was everywhere, growing wilder with each retelling. But the core was true. The Chicago girl took out 5 Jefferson High seniors. Kids from all grades came up to me, some to say hi, others asking how to stand up to bullies. A group of girls asked if I'd teach self-defense. "Sure," I said. It'd be useful. I arranged with the wrestling coach to use the gym after school. Within a week, I had 20 students, mostly girls, a few boys. I taught them basics: how to position their hands, where to strike, how to escape a hold. "The best fight is the one you avoid," I told them. "But if you can't, hit first, hit hard, end it fast." The classes caught on, even with teachers. The principal, Mr. Bennett, called me to his office. "Sophie, what you're doing matters. Kids need to protect themselves. I spoke to your mom. She told me about Chicago. Why hide it?" "I thought it'd be easier," I said. "I wanted a normal life. And now? Hiding who you are isn't living. It's just existing. Real life starts when you stop being afraid to be you." He smiled. Wise words for a 16-year-old. I grew up fast. A month later, my reputation solidified. A mixed martial arts federation came to Springfield to scout young fighters. I went as a spectator with Ava and friends, not planning to fight. But when the organizers opened the ring to anyone, my classmates started chanting, "Sophie! Sophie!" A Federation rep, Mark Sullivan, a former pro fighter, noticed. "Where's this champion?" he asked. Ava pushed me forward. Sullivan eyed me skeptically. I didn't look like a fighter in my jeans and t-shirt. "You're a state champion?" "Was in Illinois," I said. "Weight?" 125 pounds. "We've got a girl your weight. Want to spar? Light. No headshots? Protective gear?" I glanced at my classmates. Their excitement was infectious. They believed in me. Okay. Minutes later, I was in the ring, helmet and gloves on, facing Megan Foster, a 20-year-old with 4 amateur fights. "Just an exhibition. Kid," she said. I nodded, feeling at home, the sweat, the lights, the crowd. It was my world. The ref signaled to start. Megan tested me with light jabs. I dodged and blocked, staying patient. She upped the pace, throwing a 3-punch combo and a body kick. Her technique was sharp, but I was ready. I slipped the punches, caught her leg, and swept her to the mat. I followed her down, locking in a choke. She fought, but my hold was tight. She tapped out. The gym exploded. My classmates went wild. Sullivan approached, stunned. "Where'd you train?" "Chicago. Master Williams's gym. He's a legend. You could go pro, you know." I looked at my friends, my mom in the crowd, her smile proud. "Thanks. But I'm good being a student for now. I've got work to do here." That fight put me on the map. Local papers wrote about me. TV ran a story. But what mattered was finding my place. I wasn't just the new girl anymore. I was a leader. My self-defense classes grew to 50 students. Girls gained confidence. Boys showed respect. Even Ryan changed. He stopped bullying and started helping younger kids. One day, he caught me after class. "Thanks," he said, awkward. "For what?" "For stopping me. I was a jerk. If you hadn't knocked me down, I might have gotten worse. We all mess up. Ryan, just learn from it." "I am. And if you need me, I've got your back." It wasn't just Ryan. The whole school changed. Bullying faded. Kids helped each other. But the biggest test was yet to come. In November, we heard Lucas Parker, the bus stop bully, had been arrested for attacking a girl from another school. He'd gone too far, facing jail. His rich dad hired top lawyers, trying to dodge the charges. One tactic: blame me. 3 months later, his lawyers claimed my attack at the bus stop pushed Lucas to violence. They wanted me charged as an accomplice. The story blew up. Some media called me a hero. Others said I was too violent. "Can a 16-year-old be that dangerous?" one paper asked. Reporters swarmed our house, but the frenzy died down. Mom was shaken. "Maybe we should move," she said one night. "No," I said. "I didn't do anything wrong. The truth's on our side." The trial was set for 2 months later. Lucas's lawyers painted me as an unstable fighter who attacked innocent kids. But they forgot one thing: witnesses. The courtroom was packed with Washington High students, teachers, parents. Ava and her friends sat up front, rooting for me. Lucas's lawyer spun a tale of his client as a victim of my brutal aggression. But the witnesses told the real story. Ava went first, her voice shaky but firm. "Lucas and his friends harassed us for weeks," she said. "That day, he tried to grab my face. When I pulled away, his friend blocked me. Sophie stepped in, asked them to leave. They threatened her. One grabbed her, and she defended herself. Other girls backed her up, along with bystanders. Their stories aligned. I acted to protect, not attack. Then it was my turn. "Ms. Carter?" the prosecutor asked. "Tell us about your training." I stood tall. "I started martial arts after being bullied as a kid. I trained for years, won competitions. It taught me to fight, but also to control myself. My coach said true strength is knowing when to stop." At the bus stop, I could have hurt those boys badly. I didn't. I used just enough force to stop them. What did you feel? Responsibility. For the girls. For myself. For showing those boys they were wrong. Lucas's lawyer grilled me, but I stayed calm, honest. "You admit you hit my client?" "Yes." "Hard. Hard enough to stop him. You could have run." I looked at him. "And the girls? Run forever? Someone had to stop them?" "I did." The courtroom clapped until the judge called order. The jury took 20 minutes. Unanimous? Not guilty? Mom cried, hugging me. Thank you for believing in me, I told my classmates. We always did. Ava said. You taught us to be fearless, to be strong. Life settled after the trial. My self-defense classes became part of the school's curriculum, with a dedicated room and gear. I led them, teaching not just moves, but how to spot danger, avoid fights, help others safely. Strength isn't just physical, I told my students. It's confidence, standing for what's right, protecting the weak. Parents, teachers, even townsfolk joined. I became a symbol that anyone could change their world. But the biggest change was in me. I stopped hiding. Accepting myself was the first step to making a difference. One evening, walking home from training, a man approached. I tensed, ready. Sophie Carter? Yes. I'm Tom Bennett, father of a girl you saved from those bullies. I relaxed. How's she doing? Great. Thanks to your classes. She's confident, strong. You didn't just protect her. You taught her to protect herself. That's priceless. I'm just doing what's right, I said. That's why the world's better with people like you, at home. I sat by my window, staring at the stars. A year ago, I was a scared girl, desperate to blend in. Now, I was a leader, a protector, the person I was meant to be. It wasn't easy. I faced prejudice, fear, a public scandal. But each challenge made me stronger. I learned you can't hide from destiny. Your true self will surface. And when it does, you have to own it. The next day, Mr. Bennett called me to his office. City council members, PTA, and media were there. Sophie, he said, the city's awarding you a plaque for courage and community service. You're the youngest recipient ever. I was floored. Thank you, I said, taking the pin from the mayor. But this belongs to everyone who supported me, my students who grew, my classmates who believed, my teachers who helped me be better. I spoke about strength coming from doing right, helping others, being yourself. We can all be heroes, I said. Just take the first step. Senior year. I became student council president. I ended the school's power games, creating an honor court to resolve conflicts through understanding, not punishment. It worked. Serious fights dropped to nearly zero. At graduation, I stood on stage, diploma in hand, the top student in more than grades. 4 years ago, I began. I came here scared, wanting to be invisible. I thought staying quiet would keep trouble away. I was wrong. Trouble finds you, and you choose. Give up or fight. I looked at my classmates. I fought, not for love of fighting, but for those who needed protecting. It changed their lives, and mine. Wherever you go, college, work, the army, be you. Don't hide your gifts. Don't fear strength. The world needs people who stand for justice. I raised my diploma. And if you see someone bullied, don't walk by. Reach out. Be the change. The crowd roared. Classmates, teachers, parents. After. Ryan approached. He was headed to college to be a social worker. Thanks, Sophie, he said, for not breaking my nose, though I deserved it, but mostly for showing me a better way. Without you, I'd be someone else. We all mess up, I said. Just learn. Maybe you came to our school for a reason, he said. Maybe he was right. That night, I packed for Boston, where I'd start college. A new life waited. But I wasn't scared. Washington High taught me what matters. Not where you are, but who you are. Mum peeked in. How you doing? Good. Thinking about what's next. And what's that? I smiled. Lots of work. Kids who need help. Chances to make the world better. I'm so proud, she said. And I'm proud you're my mom. Thanks for always having my back. We hugged. Words unnecessary. The next morning, half of Springfield saw me off at the train station. Students, teachers, people I'd touched. Don't forget us, Ava said, crying. How could I? I said. You're in my heart forever. As the train pulled away, I watched Springfield fade. It was home, where I found myself, my purpose. In Boston, I studied psychology, focusing on teens, while coaching the university's martial arts team and teaching self-defense to women. My story became a legend, books, documentaries. But for me, it was just the start. After college, I worked in youth centers. Then, at 26, opened my own center for young leaders. It started small, but grew. Teens came from all over, bullied kids, scared kids, kids who wanted to change things. You're born for greatness, I told them. Don't let anyone say otherwise. Be you. Fight for right. Never quit. My center became a regional hub. Graduates started programs in their towns, building a network of change. I spoke at conferences, advised schools, shaped programs. But I never forgot Springfield. Every year, I returned, teaching new students, catching up with friends. At 30, I told a local paper. I thought moving to Springfield was the end. It was the beginning. It's where I found who I am. Years passed. I became more than a psychologist or coach, an example for thousands that anyone can change their life by embracing who they are. At Washington High, a photo of me, a skinny girl with fierce eyes, hangs in the gym. The plaque reads, Sophie Carter, class of 2010. She taught us true strength is protecting others. Each new student sees it, hears my story, and learns. We can all be heroes. It just takes the courage to step up. My story doesn't end with fanfare, but with quiet certainty. The world's better because I chose to shine, not hide.